All right, today we're gonna continue opening up shoulders. So we're gonna stabilize the lower extremities. We're gonna mobilize the upper extremities, something that's important because of the way we're designed. The lower half of our body was meant to do weight-bearing exercises. It was meant to walk, it was meant to do. The upper half of our body responded to everything, so it needs mobility, and that's kind of the choice we made going in upright. Because when you look at four-legged animals, they walk over their hips and they walk over their shoulders. We do not. And especially when you look at a four-legged animal in a full gallop, when they're chasing after prey, they really only use their shoulders to set up the action of their rear legs so they can push off. It's a reset. So it's like front legs, rear legs, front legs, rear legs. It keeps pushing off. So even animals don't use the shoulders all that much. So the shoulders are meant to be really mobile, and we're gonna make sure the shoulders stay mobile as we keep the lower extremities stable in motion. That's a weird concept to think about because they have to stay stable in motion, and that's why a downhill skier can go down a hill and not just rip into pieces. It's because you're stabilizing the lower extremity as you're functionally using them, and that's what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna start out with the ball. I know we usually start with the block. We're gonna put the ball under the ball of your foot. It gives you a deeper stretch. And it also causes you to stabilize that lower extremity because the ball will want to move out underneath your foot. You have to keep your core on. So this is where we activate the chakras. First chakra is your pelvic floor. Second chakra is your lower abs. Third chakra is your upper abs. I want that fired up, abs engaged. Try to get your hips over the top of that foot. Abs are nice and tight, chest is up, chin's tucked in. And then this is where we start pumping the hips forward. This lengthens the gastrocnemius, that's a calf muscle. Abs are nice and tight. Your right leg is straight. Both feet are parallel. You're working on that balance, core stabilization. Oh my goodness. Keep breathing. It's Bitsy. Today, unfortunately, Maria had to go to the dentist, not because anything bad's happening. It's the only time they had an appointment for her, and they rescheduled her arbitrarily, so she had to go this morning. Abs are nice and tight. Okay, now that it's nice and stretched out, we're gonna do our step forward, step back, hips back. This is opening up the lower extremities so we can open up the upper extremities, because if we don't open up the lower extremities, the upper extremities are gonna be distorted into the position that the tight calves make. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking your tummy. Step forward, step back, hips back. Abs are nice and tight, smiles are up. Keep breathing. 9 and 10. Okay, we're just gonna switch sides. Not that big a deal. Ball goes under the ball of your foot. We're gonna mount those hips. So you're gonna push those hips forward first. Abs are on first chakra, second chakra, third chakra is fired up. Shoulder blades down back, head over top the ball. From here is where we will pump the hips forward to lengthen out that gastrocnemius. Keep your abs engaged. No pressure in your low back or your knees. This is time under tension, so we're working muscles and not joints. So if you feel in the joint of anything, your low back, joints of your knee, hip, foot, ankle, means something has to actually stabilize. Keep breathing. Abs are engaged. Feel the lengthening of that calf. Feel the resistance of the shoulders initially to the lengthening of the calf because they wanted to roll forward to compensate. You're gonna keep your shoulder blades down and back as now we step forward, step back, hips back. Just go back and forth, keep your abs engaged, suck in that tummy. Six, abs, smiles up. 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I know your calves are starting to open up. We're going to switch back to the other side. Abs are nice and tight. Keep those feet parallel. Okay, and here we go. We're gonna bend and straighten your right leg, keep your left leg straight, abs are nice and tight. You're gonna activate what's called your transverse abdominis to keep everything sucked in as you bend and straighten. Suck in that tummy. Okay, now you're gonna straighten your right leg, you're gonna bend and straighten your left leg. Make sure that left leg goes straight forward, straight back, and doesn't go medial. Abs, chest up, hips forward. Okay, we switch sides again. Okay, in this position, abs are nice and tight. You're gonna bend and straighten your left leg. Should feel super easy after what we just did. Suck in your tummy. Hips forward, abs tight. Smiles up. Keep breathing. And then we're gonna bend and straighten your right leg, keeping your left leg straight. Keep your hips forward. You're stretching out now. Your soleus. Soleus is the second heart in the human body. It helps pump blood back to the heart from the lower extremities. Smiles are up. Okay, good. Now you're just gonna stand. Whoa, that should feel good. You're standing now. Your weight should be much more forward in your feet as we go into stance, feet parallel. Push down big toe, little toe, all the rest of the toes. Heels are down. Abs are engaged. First chakra, your pelvic floor. Second chakra, your lower abs. Third chakras are all on. And this is where we're gonna reach down and grab our ball. Abs are nice and tight. We're gonna start mobilizing the shoulders. We're gonna do it with the ball in your right hand first. You're just gonna pump your arms back like you're swinging. This ball is exactly, 400 grams. That's why it's being used in rhythmic gymnastics. It's actually a rhythmic gymnastic ball. It's a known weight and it's not too heavy, and we can do a lot of cool things with it, including mobilize your shoulders. So just see what it feels like to mobilize your shoulders. Abs engaged. Don't turn off your core. Switch sides. Keep breathing. See what it feels like to open up that shoulder. What just happened? Suck in that tummy. And good. Now, put the ball back in your right hand. Now you're gonna take it, open and close. You're just gonna open and close. Keep your abs engaged. I know your abs wanna shut off. I know that your knees wanna hyperextend. Your legs are on, your first, second, third chakras are on. You're moving from the shoulder. There should be no cracking and popping because you're stabilizing and moving with muscles and not with joints and ligaments. One more. And then you're just gonna switch sides. Notice how it throws your balance all off, even though it's a very lightweight ball. Because we're doing things what are called long levers. So your a moment arm is very long, so it multiplies the amount of work that happens at the ball. Okay, and then now we're just gonna alternate sides. It's opening up the shoulders. Keep going. You should feel no pressure in your neck. I goofed up. Okay, good. Shake out those arms. You should feel pressure in your shoulders, but not in your neck. If you feel it in your neck, you're accidentally using your abs and you're bypassing your core. We want to keep it in the core. So you're going to take the ball in, let's put it in your right hand, and you're going to just start motion. See what it feels like to move that arm in motion using the weight of the ball. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Should be no crunching or grinding. Go in the opposite direction because you're stabilizing with your core. Keep breathing. Okay, switch sides. You're gonna go forward first. Abs are nice and tight, suck in your tummy. Stabilizing your shoulders, we're just mobilizing. And then opposite direction. Suck in that tummy, smiles are up. Keep breathing. Good. Now you're gonna take that arm frontwise, this way, like your giant propeller. No crunching or grinding, keep your lats on, abs on, your legs are on. Opposite direction, feel your shoulder mobilizing, breaking up adhesions, no pressure in your neck. Switch sides. Abs are nice and tight. Keep your abs engaged. Opposite direction. Really use the weight of the ball to make this happen as it crosses into what's called the transverse plane, or coronal plane, coronal plane. Okay, now we're gonna do transverse plane. You're gonna swing forward, swing back. Abs are nice and tight. Keep your, whoops, I opened up my stance. Keep your abs engaged, your feet parallel. Don't turn off your legs. Don't let the pressure go into your knees or your neck. Okay, switch sides. This is opening up the shoulder. It's also working your abs. Oh, it's my necklace. Okay, now the fun begins. You're gonna take that ball in your right hand and you're gonna do all sorts of motions. We're doing everything, we're integrating everything we did. You can add torso motion, your abs are engaged. If you do this correctly, you should feel your lats and your obliques starting to kick in. Try all motions. Back behind you. Because you're mobilizing out the shoulders, you could do your waiter exercises. You know, the one where you could take it over your head and back down. Just keep the shoulder in motion, abs are nice and tight. You can do external rotation. And then other side, same thing. Abs are engaged. And we can do this because we opened up the calves. Keep breathing. I wish pitchers and baseball players would do this before they started throwing the baseball at baseball practice. Good. You can put that ball down. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy. We are now going to put the block down. You're going to put the ball of your left foot on the block. Your abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Your shoulder blades are down and back. Your feet are parallel. The block's underneath your left ball of your foot. You're pushing your hips forward. Your abs are engaged. First, second, third chakra. Chakras. You're going to roll your shoulders down and back. We're getting used to putting the shoulders into protraction because as the day goes on, we start slouching more and we go automatically into, we're going into retraction, which is your shoulders down and back. As the day goes on, we start going into protraction, so I want you to really work on retracting your shoulder blades down and back. Okay, abs are nice and tight. We're going to just switch sides first, just to keep it balanced. Same thing, bring it back into retraction. As I retract what I said, this is retraction. We accidentally slide into protraction as the day goes on. Feel what it feels like to do it in conjunction with lengthening your calf out. Smiles are up. Okay, keeping your abs engaged, we're going back to the left foot. You're gonna bend both knees. Abs are nice and tight. Your heel is gonna come up off the ground on the left foot. Your knee is over the top of your foot. Your abs are on. You're just gonna lift lower your heel. This time weight distribution is 50-50 through both legs. Suck in that tummy as you lift lower. Keep breathing. Not too exciting. Keep your abs on. No pressure in your low back. If there's pressure in your low back, that means you've somehow turned off your abs. Keep your abs engaged. Okay, stance goes wider now. So we got a wide stance. Your foot's on the center of the block. Ball of foot, that is. Chest is up. Abs are nice and tight. Lower down. And then here you go. Lift lower your heel. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. You should feel your quad work. You should feel your butt work. You should feel your abs working. You should not feel your calf. Suck in that tummy. Nine, 10. Good. We're going to switch sides. We're going to start with our narrow stance first. Abs are nice and tight. You're just going to lift lower your heel. Abs are nice and tight. Sucking your tummy. Both knees are bent. This is just to get you warmed up. Stay over the top of your foot. Knee is over the top of the foot. You're primarily using that metatarsal head. And then now we're going to go wide stance. Lower down, abs nice and tight. You're really working balance. You're working your quad, you're working your butt. You are not working your calf, your ankle, or your foot. Suck in your tummy. 8, 9, 10. Good. We're switching sides again. It's also getting you used to moving. Take this leg back about 45 degrees to your body. Your feet remain parallel. This time we're going to go high heel on that rear foot as well as the front foot. Abs are nice and tight. You're lowering yourself down, suck in your tummy. Lift lower that front heel. So what makes this harder is that now we're on high heels on both feet. But what makes it easier is lowering down. 8, 9, 10. Switch sides. Foot's on here. Legs at 45 degrees back. You're gonna go high heel. And now here we go. Lift lower this front heel. Stay low, it stays easy. Works in your quads and your butt and your abs, not your calves. This is learning how to stabilize the lower extremities. Without knowing it, we're doing rehab for the ankles and the knees. 6, 7, abs, 8. Time under tension, we're working muscles. And 10, switch sides. You may need a roller or something to balance on for this next one because we're getting our legs more into midline. Okay? High heel in the front, high heel in the rear, knees over the top of your foot. I'm going to line up with the camera a little bit. Okay, abs are engaged, very important. You're going to hinge forward slightly, chest up. No pressure in your low back. If there's pressure in your low back, it means your abs have shut off. You should feel now your quad and your butt as you lift lower your heel. 5, 6, 7, 8. Abs. 9, 10. Keep your heel up. Now we work. You're going to hinge forward and then come back out. Keep the heel up. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now we're switching sides. High heel on the rear foot, rear leg is straight. Front knee is bent, knee is over top of your foot. Abs are nice and tight. You're hinging forward slightly. Abs are engaged. No pressure in your low back. Working through your quads, your butt, and your abs. Lats are on too. You're going to lift lower your heel first. This is teaching you stability with mobility in the lower extremities. Abs are engaged. Smiles are up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep that heel up. You're going to hinge forward, then come back out. Abs are nice and tight. Good job, guys. Keep your abs engaged. No pressure in your low back. 8, 9, 10. Good. I keep clicking on the microphone. Hold on 1 second. Okay. We're gonna switch legs again. You're gonna take your leg across midline. This is where the work begins. This time your knee is not over the foot, it's over the ground and it's actually angling into your foot. Abs are nice and tight as your leg crosses midline. You should see how you can see my leg back behind me? Abs are nice and tight, you're gonna hinge forward, sucking your tummy, rear leg is straight. You're gonna lift lower your heel. Abs are engaged. Hold that balance. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keeping that heel up, we're gonna hinge forward and then come back up. 1, 2, abs are on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keeping that heel up, abs tight, knee bent, you're gonna lift lower that rear leg with the straight leg. Whoa, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, switch sides. So leg crosses midline once again. Knee is not over the top of your foot. Push your hips back, abs are engaged, sucking your tummy, shoulder blades are down and back, core is on, quads working, butt's working, abs and lats are working. You're gonna lift lower that heel. This is so you can sprint low and fast. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep that heel up as you now hinge forward and then come back up. Sucking that tummy. No pressure in your low back, no pressure in your knee, ankle, foot, shoulder, neck. No joints, all muscles. Time under tension. 8, 9, 10. Stay forward as you lift lower that rear leg. Whoa. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job, everyone. Stay with your feet parallel once again. Abs are nice and tight, shoulder blades down and back. You're gonna do hip circles. Keep breathing. And now go in the opposite direction. Just feel what it feels like to engage your abs to move versus moving your head around. It's not this. It's really you're stabilizing your head, moving your hips. This is working on what's called the riding reflex or hunting reflex, so you can move your hips and still target. Okay. We're gonna go down onto our right knee. Boom! We're on our right knee. Or sorry, our left knee. Right foot's forward. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking your tummy. We're gonna continue that hip circle. You're gonna keep that head over the top of the block. The head doesn't move. If your head's moving, it means your core is shut off. I really want you to open up all motions of the circle. So if you got a sticky spot, work it until it opens up. And now go in the opposite direction. Keep breathing. You're trying to keep your knee, this knee, your right knee over the top of your foot as you're doing this. So you're not getting knee motion, you're getting hip motion. This helps protect the knee. Okay, now you're gonna just stretch forward, abs are nice and tight, sucking your tummy. We're gonna go hips side to side. We do certain stretches in this class over and over because they're integral to standing up straight. We get in the bad habit of shortening these muscles and then we start slouching without knowing it, or we unintentionally limp. So this is one of them. This is your rectus femoris, the quad muscle here. So you're gonna bend that rear leg behind you, grab it with your right hand. So you're grabbing your left ankle with your right foot. You're pulling your heel to your butt. Chest stays up, abs are nice and tight. Push your hips forward, hip circles. You'll feel that rectus femoris stretching, that's that pain in the front of your thigh. Abs are engaged. Don't let pressure go into your low back. This is not about your low back or your shoulder or even your knee. So if you feel it in any of those places, you need to tighten something up. Opposite direction. So how can you tighten something in stretch? Exactly. Because stretching is actually a muscular contraction, but it's controlled in lengthening. And that's why we have to be able to do it, because if we only know how to shorten, we're going to become stumpy little hunched over people. Smiles are up. Oh, one last push, hips forward position. Abs are nice and tight, sucking that tummy. We're going to release now. We're going to take that leg across midline as we stretch forward. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy. You're primarily reaching with that, left hand towards your right foot. In fact, your right hand's reaching away. It's like you're hurdling something. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking your tummy. Reach in both directions. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back up. We're gonna do some balancing work here. Hands and stick them up. And here we go, abs engaged. This is a stabilization we were talking about. Keep your core on. Try to keep your rear toes off the ground. That'll give you much more fun balancing. Ooh. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, keep your leg in the air as you do hip circles. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Woo. Ah. 9, 10. Opposite direction. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides. Oh. We start out with our stretch. Hip circles. Abs are nice and tight. This is stretching out all the small motions of the hips. To clean up hip motion, make sure that head stays over the top of the block. Make sure this knee stays over the top of the foot, because we're doing hip motion, not knee motion. If you find a sticky spot, work it until it opens up. As you go in the opposite direction now. See if that sticky spot exists going in the opposite direction. And it might explain why you do something well in one direction but not the other. Okay, good. We're going to stretch forward, hips go side to side. Abs are nice and tight, your head's not moving. Smiles are up. And now you're going to take your left hand, grab a hold of your right foot, pull your heel to your butt. Chest goes up nice and tall, abs are nice and tight, no pressure in your low back. Hip circles once again, or fall over. Both work out really well. Abs are nice and tight. Go Annie. Try to get that spot that doesn't move so well. 9, 10, go in the opposite direction. Notice if you fall over on one side more than the other. This is the side we have to work on, right, Amy? Okay, and now we're gonna push forward, stretch a little deeper. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy. Yeah, good. We're gonna come back, release that leg, move it across midline. As we now do our hamstring stretch, keep your spine straight, abs nice and tight, no pressure in your low back because we're stretching muscles and not joints. Reach forward with that right hand, left hand goes to rear, chest is up. Sucking that tummy. Reach. Reach some more. 2, 1. Good. Now we do our balancing tricks. Hands going to stick them up. Your right toes are off the ground. You're going to lift, hold, gently lower. Abs are engaged. Sucking that tummy. Core is on. Core is what makes this happen. Whoa. 10. Keep that leg up in the air as you do your hip circles. Woo, woo. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish, 9, 10. Opposite direction. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and finally 1. Good. Switch sides. Okay, your toes are curled under on this one. If you feel excessive pressure in those metatarsal heads, just push your heel back. That's the biggest piece. We're going to go into our thinker position. Think, think, think. Stretch out that foot first. Stretch out that calf. And then you're going to take your left elbow to your right knee as we create a twisted stretch. Suck in your tummy. You shouldn't feel this in your low back. You should feel this in your legs, butt, and abs. Okay, and then we come back to center. Abs are nice and tight. We're going to do some jumping. Only a slow motion jumping. You're going to jump forward and then come back. No wobbling. Abs are engaged. Core. Five. Yes. Nice and slow, nice and smooth. 6. Nice and uniform. 7. Abs. You're using your quads and your butt and your abs. No joints. 8. 9. 10. We switch sides. You should feel your quads working. Toes are curled under. You're pushing your heel back to get any pressure out of your metatarsal heads, but to stretch out your foot and your calf instead. We're going to go into our thinker position, and then we're going to take that elbow across midline to get a twist. Keep your abs engaged. No pressure in your low back. No pressure in your shoulders either. Should be in your abs, butt, and legs. And here we go. We're gonna do some jumping. Abs are nice and tight, chest is up. Shoulder blades are down and back. And here we go, jump. Slow, clean motion. Use muscles, not joints. Four. 5. Make sure your feet stay parallel. 6. Hold that balance. 7. Nice and slow. 8 with balance. No cramping either. 9. 10. Good job. We're going to come off the block for a second. It's going to go in front of you like a hash mark. Okay? You're going to remount both knees on the blocks. Your toes are off the ground. You're balancing. Abs are nice and tight. You've been set adrift into the ocean on a tiny little raft, and only your knees can be on it. You don't want to fall off because there's sharks everywhere. Abs nice and tight. Suck in your tummy. And I know how much Meredith likes sharks. Suck in your tummy. Hip circles. Don't let your little raft sink or flip you over. You'll become shark food. Try not to move your head. It's going to move a little, but don't want it to move a lot. Try to keep the work in your abs and out of your butt. Opposite direction. Eight, 9, 10. Good. Here's where you squat, and we're gonna do jumps once again. You're down, and then you're gonna come up nice and slow with the jump. You're using both butt cheeks now, both quads, both abs, and your lat muscles. Your spine doesn't round, just like when you're jumping. Suck in your tummy. We want work transfer, so we want to spring out of those legs and really reach for the sky. And back down. Abs are engaged. You should feel your butt working now because this is a proper activation of your butt muscles. One more just for health. Lachheim. We just had Passover. And good. Come off the block for a second. You're going to want to grab your ball. I'm going to put this down. Okay. If you don't have a ball, you can just use any weighted object. It doesn't have to be heavyweight. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Knees go on the block. We did this at the beginning. We're just going to do it now, eliminating your knees and your feet. You're just going to do a crossover at the top. Abs are nice and tight. Notice how your abs have to work the balance of having an object at a distance from you. Keep your abs engaged, mobilizing the shoulders. Now your back's doing the right thing, your butt's doing the right thing, your abs are on, your pelvic floor is on, everything's doing the right thing. It's a good day. Imagine if you had a day where everybody did their job the best they could. Timing would work out, energy would work out, production, productivity, all would be really great if everyone did their own job. And it's not about what someone else is doing, it's about that one person doing their job. Like the carpenter showing up on time, the electrician showing up on time. Everyone showing up on time, doing their own thing the best that they can, working with each other. Okay, come back into kneeling, awesome job. You should feel your shoulders now. You should feel what it feels like to have worked your butt properly and your abs properly. Okay, we're gonna put the block out in front of you. I don't know if I'm up for this, but you're gonna put your left knee on the block. Your right leg is gonna go behind you. It'll look like a track start. It'll look like this, okay? From here, you're gonna take your arms off the ground. You're gonna balance. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. You're gonna hinge forward and then come back up. Abs are nice and tight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, abs, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so even if today is not a day of everyone doing their job perfectly, at least we're gonna do our jobs perfectly. So it will be a wonderful moment for us. Okay, block goes underneath your right knee. You're going in that track position, leg goes back behind you, abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy, arms are back behind you. Keep going, abs are engaged, here we go. We're gonna hinge forward, come back up. Notice if one side's harder than the other. 4, 5, 6, 7, abs, 8, 9, one more, 10. Good job. So you should feel your booty now without the effects of your knees or your feet taking over. You find out how hard it is or how easy it is. We'll do a little pelvic floor work. We need our ball, we need our block. You're gonna have a seat on top of your ball and your block. Whoo! Ball's midway between your pubic bone and your tailbone. Your head is over top that ball. Abs are nice and tight. We're gonna start out with by doing our sit-ups. You're just sucking in your tummy. So suck in your tummy, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. I'll line up with the camera again. Squeeze, release. Keep breathing. Abs are nice and tight. Recruit those abs. See what it feels like to recruit your abs. Make sure that head stays over top of your body or you'll get in the habit of falling over when your abs go on. That's not so good. We're gonna do it without the ball now. You're gonna do arm motion starting with your right arm. Just move it around, but keep your abs engaged. It's at a distance. I want long extremities moving through every motion. You can do your waiter moves. Abs are nice and tight. Okay, switch arms. Abs are nice and tight. Don't lose that ab connection. That's the whole point of this. Move those arms like you're fanning a fan or something. You're just being overly dramatic. Notice that long arms is a very dramatic motion. In fact, we're working with dancers, and one of the things we're having troubles with them is learning how to be long through the extremity instead of truncating motions. So even though they're really fluid dancers, they don't fully extend. And that's harder than you think because it requires muscles. Now, two arms at once, you're conducting an orchestra that's a mile away. So it's really big, exaggerated motions. You can cross midline, you can do one arm at a time, in front or back. Just try all the different things. You can be really crazy. The long motions. And good. Keep your pelvic floor on, abs nice and tight. You're gonna take your right leg forward. Sucking your tummy, chest is up. We're gonna do a run. You're gonna do a twist. It's mainly twists. You're sucking in your tummy, rotating that torso. And now we're gonna try to get that knee over the top, or elbow over the top of your knee. 6, 7, abs 8, 9, 10. Switch sides. Here we go. Twist. Keep breathing. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Both feet up. In front of you. You're sitting on top of the ball, on top of the block. Abs are nice and tight, chest is up. Once again, we're going to do our arm motions. See what it feels like to move those arms around doing different things. One could be back behind you, one could be up in front of you. Keep your arms dynamic so you don't get that wobbly hunk of skin behind your tricep. We're going to make sure we get really strong toned arms versus wobbly arms. No cracking and popping because we're using muscles time under tension. Your abs are engaged. Your lats are on. Serratus anterior is on. All the muscles that make us look good. Okay, hands on your knees. We're gonna come up first into recovery position. We're gonna do our sit-ups as you suck in your tummy as hard as you can, tighten your pelvic floor, release. Do it again. Close up your rib cage, suck in your tummy, tighten your pelvic floor. Release. Just keep doing that. Smiles are up. Good job. Do a full forward fold now. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. Make sure those knees are turned out. Your arches are lifted. All the things that Maria always tells us. Push those hip bones up and back. Abs are nice and tight for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go back to your recovery position. Regulate your blood pressure so you don't pass out. And then we're going to go straight to the ground. We're not going to stand up. We're going to work the abs now. Ball goes behind the small of your back. Hands are back behind you. You're sucking in your tummy. We're starting out by just sucking in your tummy, trying to pop the ball. Change the shape of your abdomen, because if your abdomen doesn't change shape, it's never going to change shape. So you got to change the shape of your abdomen for it to change shape. Keep breathing. Okay, now you're going to grab a hold of your knees. Continue the same thing, abs nice and tight. Suck in that tummy, release. Change the shape of your abdomen. If you do not have a consciousness about changing your shape of your abdomen, it is just going to be an expanding trend outward. We don't want that. We want to keep it stabilized because ultimately it's not about appearance, it's about the health of your internal organs. And if they're supported, they tend to work better. Okay, now Lean back slightly, your arms are released. You're setting your arms into motion. You're doing different motions, seeing what it feels like to stabilize with your abs, mobilize through the shoulders the way you do in life. You can reach back behind you, over the top of your head, but you're doing your abs engaged. You can do both arms at the same time or one arm at a time. But keep your abs engaged, because if your abs can't stay engaged, you're understanding why your shoulders get injured, because they're not being stabilized. Because the shoulders are the most mobile joint we have in the body, so we have to be able to move with stabilization, because they can't do it by themselves. Good. Hands go back behind you. Awesome job. Legs go straight. Sucking your tummy. We're doing our sit-ups once again as you suck in your tummy, changing the shape of your abdomen. Keep breathing. Okay, once again, leaning back, hands in the air, arms into motion. You're conducting an orchestra that's 5 miles away, and they can only see your really big motions to know what to do. One arm at a time, you can really reach over the top of your head. Notice where you have pain in your shoulders and see if you lose connection to your abs. Come up occasionally and go back, up, twist, different things. Work all dimension of your abdominal muscles as you now arch over the top of the ball. Whew. You're gonna keep your feet parallel, rock your hips from side to side, keep first, second, third chakras on. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in that tummy. Abs will not change shape unless you actually change the shape of your abdomen. Okay, bend your knees, ball goes underneath your sacrum, legs go up in the air. Toes point towards your nose. As we alternate bringing your toes to your nose, just like that. Pump your feet. Abs are nice and tight. Same thing, no clicking and popping in any joint, because you're using all the muscles to stabilize. Okay, now from here, we're gonna do my favorite. You're gonna drop your heels to your butt and then bring them back up. Drop, drop, let gravity do the work. Abs nice and tight. Keep your abs engaged. There's no pressure in the knees, so you shouldn't feel any pain or discomfort in your knees. If you do, you have to figure out what muscles you have to turn back on in order to get this drop. This is non-weight bearing to the knees. Okay, now we're gonna do one leg at a time as we walk. Drop, drop, drop. Abs are engaged. This is very healing for the knees, because the knees are gonna find out what it can and cannot do, and what work you need to do to get it to do what it needs to do. And then we're gonna go to a little jog. Abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy. This is about staying connected to your legs to protect your knees. And now we're gonna double time. So we go up to a little trot. And then we're gonna go into a full-on Gillen sprint. Sprint, 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 sprint. Abs are nice and tight for 5, 4, faster, 3, 2, 1. Feet come to the ground. Legs go straight against the ground. You're rocking side to side. Ooh. Okay, you're gonna go on your roller lengthwise now. No, change my mind. You're gonna go to the very tip of your roller. Now you can't see my roller because the flooring is very dark. But we can blame that on Wolfie. Okay, you're gonna bring your right foot forward, your left knee is bent, abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy. What you're gonna do from here is lean back. Only go as far as it feels safe. So if this is as far as you get, that's as far as you get. You don't need to impress me. Okay, cross your ankle over your knee at the maximum point at whatever you're at. So if you can go all the way down, good for you. If you can't, good for you. Doesn't mean a thing, just be at the maximum that you can do, safely. And we're just gonna hang out here as we lengthen out our quad muscles. Because if you sit and you probably just finished up your taxes, so you were sitting around the lot. Your quads have shortened. We already lengthened the calves at the beginning of class. Now we're going after the quads. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy. We're almost done. Just feel that lengthening. Keep your abs engaged. No pressure in your low back because you're tightening your abs to flatten out your spine to protect it. Because we're stretching muscles and not joints. Now you're going to bring that knee to your chest to stretch out now your butt. This is your glute max. Sucking that tummy. Smiles are up. All right, you can either sit back up, or if you're flexible, you can just switch legs. You're gonna take your right leg down. Abs are nice and tight. You lean back to however far it feels safe. Whatever that maximum is, you cross your ankle over the top of your knee and let things open up. Once again, if you can go down, good for you. If you can't, good for you. There's nothing that's better than the other. It's your maximum safe distance. Abs are engaged, sucking that tummy. Lengthen that rectus femoris. Keep breathing. Jaws relaxed, shoulder blades are down and back. Last but not least, you're going to bring your knee to your chest. This will stretch out your glute max. Suck in your tummy. This is core stabilization in stretch. And then we finish out with our feet on the ground. Feet are parallel. Knees are over tops of feet. Shoulder blades are down and back. You're going to fire up your first chakra, that's your pelvic floor. Close up third chakra, that's your upper rib cage and upper abs. Then suck in second chakra, your lower abs, to draw your navel to your spine and the spine to the roller. Just breathe and hang out here. You guys have done a lot. Feel what it feels like to breathe. You can rock your head from side to side, just say no. When you're finished saying no, you can put your head back to center, abs are nice and tight. You guys stay on top of your roller, I'm coming off my roller. I'm just bringing you home. Chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back. Feel what it feels like to have your head over the top of your pelvic floor. This is getting you closer to your center point. Combine it with breathing and you're getting even closer to your center point. Just notice how many things during the day pull you out of your center point. It can be a thought, it could be a process, it could be a behavior, it could be something you're working, it could be something that's happening around you. But your goal is to stay in your center point. Excuse me. Feel the gift of being in your center point and how everything is balanced from there. All choices, all decisions. How there's time and space. It seems like an eternity when something falls off of its center and sets into motion. Because there is a certain amount of inertia that prevents us from falling off our center. Excuse me. Feel what it feels like to be completely in your center, on your center. Combined with breath, combined with thought, and you're in meditation. Just sit for a second longer and just experience that. Because you have all the rest of the day to pull you off center. It's already starting as you think about your day. But really, there's nothing more important than being on your center, in integrity, in your best day. So, on behalf of Mari and me, thank you all for being here, sharing your time, your love and support, and your willingness to do the crazy exercises that we have you do. We appreciate you all. Thank you and namaste.